rename yourself with your org names too. That'll be super helpful. And yeah, just few things. As I'm speaking, if you have any questions, if something comes up for y'all, please feel free to use the
बोल
chat box and put the questions out.
72,000। गौतम को
And
बोलूंगा तू जो चीज तू बनवा के आया वो भी क्यों लगा रहा है। उन लोग बोला कि वो लिख दिया है
uh,
लेकिन करेगा नहीं जिंदगी।
1 second. I think we need to mute someone. Okay, thanks. And yeah, if there's something, we'll pause after every like a section to take up questions, and so yeah, feel free to like unmute and share your questions then, or feel free to use the chat box, and some of our team members should be able to answer the questions. I think we can get started. Uh, yeah, so cool. So yeah, so the session is about understanding WhatsApp groups automation. Maybe this is new for you all, some of you all, and we don't talk about this enough. But all of us, like as part of our work, we have to manage a bunch of WhatsApp groups too. There are lots of communities, schools, colleges, other places there where we engage our beneficiaries. So as a result, over the course of, I mean, we know that WhatsApp groups is like a very common place of engagement to get updates, to know about what's going on, to get queries answered, and things like that. So we saw that there are like the non-profit sector has a need to manage lots of WhatsApp groups, and many times there are some very repetitive, recurring or things that need to happen. So scheduling things in advance, running polls. Also, like there is also some amount of need to like get analytics of what is happening inside of groups. And one common situation is since you all have one-on-one chatbots, and the most basic thing is if you try adding these chatbots that you have to the WhatsApp groups, it doesn't get added. So this is a limitation of by WhatsApp Business API, and you just can't do that. That's how WhatsApp has designed its chatbots. So there was a need for this, and I think a couple of years back we had worked on. We had a request from a few NGOs, and this is something that we have developed. So we thought we'll do like a quick session on this one, like a refresher session, just to bring this up and yeah, understand what are the features, how it can help, and like where it makes sense now, considering like the present situation of WhatsApp increasing its costs. So we'll cover what where the WhatsApp groups fit in within Glyphic, and also like within as compared to one-on-one chatbot, and where it can fit in your programs. There are some examples I can share. What are the pros and cons of this using this channel? How can it be used in tandem with your chatbot? Or if you if there's something where it can be used as the only channel, there are a few things. So yeah, you can decide whether the channel is right for you. There are a few features within this one. So what are those in case it helps? But I will talk a little bit about the features and what are the things to seeing it run is like what the setting, like what are the steps involved in setting it up, and how can you probably like plan out your first pilot if it's something that you're thinking of using. So and then yeah, question answers will keep towards the end as well, but also feel free after each section, or if at any point you feel like there is a question, something you'd like me to cover in deep, you can raise your hand or use the chat box. So we'll quickly go into the context. Where do the groups fit in? And until recently, this was just about mostly for NGOs who were already managing a bunch of WhatsApp groups, WhatsApp communities. They needed to put out weekly or like reminders and broadcasts, and like within groups. But yeah, now it's more becoming more and more important because, as we all know, one-on-one chatbot that we have. You can get beneficiaries on board. You can create very personalized nudges and journeys, and the customization that's possible. It's very powerful, and you can do tons and tons of like creative things. But the catch is that as you get more and more beneficiaries, the cost of broadcasting gets higher. And as you all know, like it's broadcasting is one of the major use cases because you need to get the users back. Even if you onboard them once, the journey is such that you have to get them back. And to get them back, you have to broadcast. And as you broadcast to more people, the cost linearly increases. And also now with October onwards, any outgoing message that is also going to, I mean, so not just broadcast messages, like the cost of WhatsApp is generally likely going to increase. So that's the catch in one-on-one chatbot. Like it is great for personalizing and doing a lot of customization and creating those interactive journeys. But yeah, like there's a cost element involved, and also like it doesn't create that community feeling. So the way to think about this is one-on-one. There is this all the personalized and private journeys that you can create, but WhatsApp groups is a way for you to create cohorts or create small communities and do broadcast. So if your program is relying most it is there is a need for doing a lot of broadcast messaging, scheduling reminders, and sending things for folks to consume, and then some amount of like interactivity, but not a whole lot of interactivity. Or interactivity can be, let's say, on another channel, or like interactivity can be within one-on-one chatbot, but you send them a link through WhatsApp groups so that when they click on your chatbot link, they can come on your chatbot and have that personalized conversation. So it's a very good like group, like a place to do like a group level broadcasting. Group doesn't really replace the chatbot because in group you can't do like the highly interactive nature of things that you can do on chatbot. But yeah, it's easier to kind of like broadcast quickly, reach a large audience without like scaling the cost in the same manner. And there are some other positives of groups which I'll cover later. But essentially, you have to think of like WhatsApp groups is was like another channel that there is that you can use. The way it works is there is you'll have a separate number. So like your chatbot number can be added to groups. So you have to have another separate number. You have to have it on WhatsApp. And then you have to have it in a device in a WhatsApp, and then you can create groups. Um, how there is Gupshup for our one-on-one chatbot. Similarly, there is another service called as Metapi, where that is like the interface between Glyphic and your groups. So you add your numbers within this third like this there's another service called Metapi, and through that then we are able to, through Glyphic, you are able to create flows and then send broadcasts, create collections, get analytics back. All those things you are able to do. I'll explain how this looks, but just one thing to know is WhatsApp doesn't officially have a automation for groups. So it is not an official WhatsApp solution. This is another third party who have come up with like their own system. We can call it a workaround. But yeah, it isn't official WhatsApp because WhatsApp doesn't want to have automated bots in groups and things like that. So this is a workaround but this is not just one of the services. There are multiple such services who do who there is a kind of like a market for such solutions out there. So that's how it works. So this is how it will be. Imagine you have one Glyphic platform. You have one number, which is your chatbot number right now, which is linked to Gupshup, and with that you're able to broadcast and talk to individual contacts. So that is the one channel that is there right now. And if you want to, and what you can do is like there's this other channel through Metapi, with which you can interact with groups. So sending of broadcast messages into the groups, sending of polls into the groups. whatever interactions are happening, being able to get the data of those interactions from the group in your BigQuery, and then being able to do analysis of how many groups are there, how many unique contacts are there, how many people messaged in the last whatever week, or like how many people responded to a certain poll that you do, things like that. So and also like scheduling messages in advance. So as you know, in WhatsApp groups, if you want to send out a bunch of messages, you can send the messages to 10 groups at a time from your phone. But using like broadcasts or like the triggers of Glyphic, you can send it out to probably hundreds and hundreds of groups. Obviously, it'll not go at the same time. It'll be like a little staggered out. But this is like you don't have to like do that manual effort of sending out these things in groups. So it's like two different phone numbers. You will have two or more different phone numbers, and who are able to like engage or like send out messages. Either one is one on one, one other one will be in WhatsApp groups. And all of this can be possible through using your existing like Glyphic platform. So you can create flows, you can create collections of groups, and I can explain more of this in detail as we go ahead. There are some nonprofits already running it, and these are mostly examples of nonprofits who have. These are just examples of orgs who have like very structured education-based programs where they are like class-specific or school and class-specific groups, and then or like districts and school and class-specific groups, and then they have to send out regular programming to these groups. But we have also run pilots with few orgs in health ecosystem as well. And it's possible, I mean, basically like the blueprint of the program is that when you have to send broadcast messages at a regular interval within the groups. So there's an example of Avanti Fellows who have about 100 student community groups. They send weekly STEM nudges. That means there's a platform called Plio, which they have, on which a student has to consume the material of like physics or a small physics or chemistry or maths class. And within that, so it's like if they send messages to that group. From the group, they are taken to a link, and from there, the student has to like finish their thing, and as they complete, they get like a small artifact or like their score, and they can send the score back to the group. So these are some example. Again, similarly, KEF is another thing, and I'll deep dive into KEF later. But that's basically like one of like some ideas where it has been used. Yeah, there's a hand up, Arushi.
Arishi. Yes. Hi, Tejas. Hi, everyone. So, according to the current knowledge and understanding that I have, there's
Yeah,
certain kind of nudge or an initial initiation, which is required from the customer's end for us to be able to start sending messages to them, right?
correct.
So what I'm able to understand from the WhatsApp automation, this entire groups thing, is that now that nudge is not needed, and probably we can reach out to the customers directly, like we can send messages to anyone and everyone. Is that what we are trying to say here?
So they have to be part of a your community group.
Okay.
So like if they're already part of your group, like I'm sure you have like let's say for example, in case of Avanti Fellows, they have
Mm-hmm.
like these groups of schools, like let's say ninth and 10th graders, like so ninth grade Ryan International School, 10th grade Ryan International School, whatever, like there's tons of groups. So once the children are added to the group, then
Mm-hmm.
they can send basically scheduled messages to these groups at a weekly interval. um, so yeah, in a sense, the
Ah,
user has to get onboarded to a group, and the group is usually created by their teacher or their let's say mentor from specific this thing.
okay.
So yeah,
So my sorry for taking time. Just
go
one
ahead,
more
go ahead.
question.
No, no, please go ahead.
Yeah. So for instance, we do like a lot of times we do like cold outreaches, right, at Hagdarshak. like our use case we've already like discussed so many times with you and Sneha, right? So a lot of times like the WhatsApp API link is probably embedded in our application or different places like like embedded in a QR code and all of that. So customers come through that. So
Yeah.
so is there a way we can use this capability by adding the customers who have previously interacted with us in a certain group, or do we need certain kind of what do you say, consent from the customer for them to be added in the group? Because in the latter case we might not be able to utilize this particular feature. However, we
Yeah.
really want to do the outreaching and promotional messages and all of that with the
Yeah.
customer. So I was thinking, if
Yeah.
this particular feature we can use it for that purpose, because
Yeah.
currently we are limited to the 24-hour
Yeah.
timeline, post which we're not able to like reach out to those customers, right? And we want to
Correct.
do like post fulfillment engagement with the customer. We're coming up with those kind of strategies where we reach
Yeah.
out to them for like different schemes, or say for
Mm.
example Labor Day pay, we want to reach out to all the workers we serviced last time. We
Yeah.
want to do that kind of a use case. I'm just giving you an example, but
Correct.
ऐसा
Correct.
हो सकता है क्या? Like just a question wanted to ask you.
Yeah, yeah, good question. So, so in a way, so think of it like, I mean, there's no, like, you can't just reach out to someone who hasn't opted in. So like right now, also, like, if someone tries to add you to a group, so no one can just randomly add you to a group, right, Arushi?
Hmm.
Because you have set a privacy setting in your WhatsApp saying only people from your contact list can add you to a group.
Right.
Or you may get like, or otherwise thing, other thing that may happen is you may get an invite from someone to join a group, right? Like sometimes, like, no one can just randomly add you to a group.
Hmm.
Either you have that privacy setting enabled,
Hmm.
that only your contacts can add you to a group, or everyone can add you to a group, in which case everyone can add you to a group. Or sometimes what happens is when you're trying to add random, like, sometimes you must have gotten invites to the groups. So this is kind of that way. Like, so the first step is you have to have these people in the group.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you already have, let's say, like, so if you think of a funnel where you have customers and they have already gone through, and these are like beneficiaries where, like, it's beneficial for them to also, like, be in a group of similar circumstance, or like similar, like, in a way, like, similar, like, like, where they can, like, take help from each other also, where it's
Hmm.
beneficial for to have them in a group. So like, they are in a group, then you can continue to send, once they're in the group, then you can continue to engage these groups, and these groups can be managed by you, in a way, like, managed by you as in, like, you are the moderator slash facilitator of those groups, but at the same time, group is also a way, like a community, right? So it's like a way to for the peers to interact with each other.
Got it. Got it, Tejas. Okay. I'll have to
So
probably figure this out. Yeah, yeah. It won't be like I don't think there's an easy answer to this. It definitely will have to be like figured out in a certain different manner. Because
yeah, yeah,
even if I have to like share the group invite link, that the hello customer, XYZ, this group is going to help you know about other schemes, all of that. For that, in order to give a context for getting added into a group, I'll have to do some outreach messaging, which I'm currently not able to do.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll have to move to like a WhatsApp notification or some promotional messaging, that route. And there I can have some limitations of being marked as spam or reported as spam. That can be one of the like limitations there as well. So I see that there's no like easy answer, but we'll definitely explore. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so like if you notice over here, like, most of the examples are where there is a cohort effect already. Like, there's a students group that they are in a, like, similar journey. Similarly, in Key Education Foundation group, there's a parents group. So each school has a class, and within which there are parents, like, so the LKG and UKG groups where there are parents of similar, like, in the same class, and a teacher is engaging them, and they're getting content through this group. Similarly, for Madhi Education, it would be Madhi Foundation, it would be like similar thing, but just spread across the entire district. We worked with a few other orgs in healthcare where there was like hospital level groups. So they were engaging frontline workers in hospitals, and they had created like groups in at a district level for different hospitals, so like what they were doing. So a common element has to be like the that community that is already there. But yeah, so you'll have to think of something like that, but that is where it's most beneficial. Cool. I'll go ahead if this is right for you, and I'll probably take like a minute to explain like KEF's CLAP program. And last, I mean, so KEF ran this CLAP is called Children Learning Assisted by Parents. They work in like really young children with LKG and UKG, and basically they don't work with children directly. They work with parents, get parents to do worksheets with their children, play activities, so send videos and give parenting tips through the videos. And they did all of they had a high like pretty scaled program until 2024 through one-on-one chatbot. And they had to imagine like, yeah, they have to every week they have to send like these 2 or 3 types of nudges to these parents. And obviously like this became very expensive, so last year we ran a pilot of WhatsApp groups where all of these things, what they did was they created these 6 schools. They created like so you can imagine 6 times 2 12 times 2, like so they had like about 42 groups, LKG UKG, from these different schools. And they also had to like segregate it language wise, so I'll get into that later. And they delivered their 14-week program of just like sending out these things. Instead of sending in one-on-one, they sent all of this in a group. And what they saw was like all they didn't do any sort of like re-engagement or re-nudging. All they do was they just kept sending these messages without doing any more things to like get engagement from the parents. And they saw decent signs of a sustained like 30 close to average 30% of engagement across all these activities, which was almost double of what they had seen previously in a one-on-one setting. And they saw this at a sustained level without getting a lot of initial or like a lot of follow-up from the teachers or from other sources. So this is what happens in a group setting as opposed to one-on-one, where there's a social momentum, there's a social norming of when people see other people participate, when they respond, when they kind of like share back something, when they ask questions. Like so some doubts get cleared, or like some like that. So that entire thing of like when you see some more people taking action, you are also likely to take action if you didn't know other people are doing the same thing. So they saw like a very good amount of social momentum as a result of this thing, which is many times not possible in a private chat. Like, I mean, you can't know how many other people are engaging with the same chatbot, right? And which is just the basic advantage of working in like a public group kind of setting. Um, they also found out, I mean, this is a very specific thing, but second point is also like something for us to take away. Like when we do like multiple types of broadcasts and you want your beneficiaries to engage in like many different things, what they found out was like out of the 3 4 things that they sent, one thing became the anchor. So there was this one anchor activity which saw like a consistent this thing, and then they could like plug in all these other small things around it. Identifying an anchor activity was very important. And this is also like imagine like a lot of stakeholders is there like now. Earlier they had to find a way to like make sure everyone is registered on the one-on-one chat bot and things like that, but here teacher is one of the stakeholders for KEF, and their workload dropped because they just had to do one thing to get everyone on board. They just had to get them onto the group, and it was easier for them to get them on the group because they already were part of these groups. And Yeah, like overall the engagement kind of continued to stay without having to do much because of all these social momentum and people just generally showing interest, so which kind of like got other people to do it. So yeah, that is some things that worked. Maybe something to consider in your own programs too. Other thing to
मैम
watch out. Yeah, someone had a question.
No, Tejas, I think it was by mistake.
Okay, cool.
No,
So,
sorry.
something that just to watch out for is some things like so specifically because it's a group, right? And I mean, I'll cover the second point more. So here you have to be slightly more conscious about, like grouping similar language, like just like, like because then you can't have like very everyone catering to their own language. So like finding a common language, what is a common ground where everyone can communicate, that is one of the more important things that stood out. So I mean, since they worked in Bangalore and near this thing, majority of the groups had all Kannada content, which as a result led out like maybe like they had like maybe one group or one class which had like lesser number of Hindi speakers. They just couldn't, and you can't get like specifically within the group specific to your language, at least not yet. Apart from this, like the other problems are just like common things where they sent a lot of messages every week. There were like 3 or 4 messages, and obviously like they have to give as much content as possible, but obviously like it became an overload. Some of the non-anchor content, which was like not the main flagship thing, that was really not given that much attention to. And yeah, like it's again like since if you work in low resource settings, not every time the access is there, so engagement could vary because of that. But yeah, like if you compare one-on-one, overall, you can see like onboarding effort. Sometimes in one-on-one chatbot is quite high because you have to get them every time to onboard to the chatbot, scan a QR code, finish like some sort of registration. So you have that basic thing so that you have segregated them into like a bucket or in a collection where you can then engage them later on. Here you just have to add them in a like a relevant group. So if you have a map of groups, you can add them. Other stakeholders who are internal, if you're working at scale, like so if they're teachers, if there are other intermediaries, for them just monitoring of like what's happening in the chatbot becomes difficult, right? Because not everyone can come on Glyphic. Even if you create dashboards for them to access dashboards and get those insights of like exactly what happening instead of just the numbers, that becomes difficult. But here, if relevant people are added, they can easily see what's happening in the group. They can get more involved in program delivery. They can also follow up and things like that. There's social motivation that gets created when people see other people engaging. Personalization is higher in one-on-one chatbot, lower in WhatsApp group. So this is a negative for WhatsApp group because in WhatsApp group you can't really like personalize something to language or to like some specific preference. It has to be then like a group thing. Language flexibility is part of personalization, so that becomes difficult in a group setting. When it comes to privacy, so especially like obviously like privacy type cases where you have to either interact on like health data, or you have to interact on some social schemes, or you have to interact on where like getting specific personal private information so that you're able to support them better. Obviously like that becomes almost not the right case for WhatsApp group, whereas one-on-one chatbot, it's that probably is like one of the ideal cases. And lastly, like the main thing is like cost to scale. When you have like a lot of broadcast type of messaging that's happening, outbound, lot of outbound, lot of like scheduled calendar of content that needs to be sent out, activities or nudges or things like that, then one chatbot, like the cost grows with every new contact that you add. Whereas WhatsApp group, the way the cost structure of like MateAPI subscription is that it is it is like a flat subscription rate. So with that, with one subscription rate, you can be engaging 100 groups, 50 groups, 200 groups. And you can be sending, either you can sending one message per month or 5 messages per month or 50 messages per month. It's the same cost because it's just one flat subscription fees. So these are some pros and cons. Um, Happy to take some questions, but yeah, like I said, good fit for like the good fit for groups use cases when you have a cohort or classroom programs, when there's a recurring low personalization, things that needs to be sent, announcements, reminders, worksheets. Yeah, and when there's like that light touch, engagement is at least like some light touch, and then you can always share like links and things which can get them to another, which can get them to one-on-one chatbot, which can get them to other platforms, and that's where more deeper engagement can happen. and where you there's like peer visibility is going to be a positive. That's when like groups are a better fit. Yeah, there are a few hands up, so maybe start with Arushi and then we can go to Avantika.
Yeah, yeah, Tejas. I think firstly, great presentation, and it's definitely very clear from from the presentation as to what is the new offering and everything. Small request, if you can also give like a demo of a live group, or like maybe any prototype or something like that, like a demo video of sorts.
Yeah,
That we can just look at, because in theory all of this is very clear. We just want to see how this comes to life. uh,
yeah.
right, that would just help me speak to my CPU accordingly.
Yeah. I'll send over a few videos that we have. I think if I do it right now, it'll just be very difficult. But yeah, I can send over the videos.
Sure, sure. Anything that just conveys, the true sense of this group creation, and how it actually functions, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I am very intrigued to see, does reply privately and all of those kind of features are probably working. Will the customers get to respond or not respond? Ideally, I probably will have like a huge group of people, so I wouldn't want them to probably reply on the group. So it would be just like a broadcast message, as you mentioned, but I would want the customer to be able to reply privately, or we are able to capture interest on a separate, on a personal chat or something, so that my agent can accordingly reach out, right? So a very use case specific query that I have, but good to just it would be good to just see how this comes to life, है ना?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Avantika?
Sure. Thanks, Tejas. I just had one question. You had
Yeah.
mentioned there's a one flat subscription fees.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like, am I understanding this correctly, that it means that even when we broadcast a message to the group, it's not the individual messages that are being charged. There's the one flat subscription fees. And what is that subscription fees to? Is that to Metapi?
Yeah.
Or is that to Glific? And what is that subscription fees? Is it monthly,
Yeah.
yearly? Is it just some details on that
Yeah.
would be helpful?
Yeah. So so basically like to do this, right? Like you'll have to get a subscription of Metapi. And Metapi subscription works on let's say like, so how many phone numbers you want to add. So it's good to have like one phone number to start with. So it's like $30 per month per phone.
$30 per month per phone. Okay, so the phone number that we use to create the group, that phone number, $30 per phone. Okay.
Correct. And then once you have this, you can then this number can be part of as many groups as you think. And we have experiment. I think some of the so I'll get to this later, but like it can work quite reliably up to like 500 to 600 groups.
Okay.
Beyond that, it's better to have like two numbers and things like that. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you.
And then, yeah, like then once you have this, then you can broadcast as many times within that with that phone number to these groups. And it's just, yeah, the cost isn't message based on messaging.
Hmm.
Cool. Um, yeah, Ram.
Like after taking the subscription for just an instance, like maybe a month or two, like if you want to cancel the
Yeah.
subscription,
Yeah.
how we can extract the data when we, like, I mean, is there any chance of extracting the
Yeah.
data which was like that 1 month, 2 month car?
Yeah. So what happens is the data, like as soon as you activate the subscription and you link the Metapi, basically like link Metapi and Glyphic, the all whatever data is of interactions happening, that is getting routed into your Glyphic BigQuery's like tables, so that you can have it for however long you like, like that remains with you.
Okay, so there is no restriction for data and all. I mean restriction since like after
Yeah.
1 month ka 2 month ka, it automatically goes to the BigQuery of the Glyphic.
Yeah. So if it's like if messaging is like seasonal for you, then you
Hmm.
can even do things like you have the subscription for like 2 3 months. You can turn off the subscription for like next 3 4 months. Then you can get the subscription for like next yeah, like for that much time. So that's also possible, like if the messaging is seasonal and you don't need it in other situations, that's also possible. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, happy to take more questions.
I think Ram, you had a question. You've raised your hand.
Ram just asked this question.
Okay, it was Ram only. Could not
Would it
be.
be possible from to move users? So Nirmala has a question in chat. Would it be possible to move users from groups for a one-on-one personalized interventions and back? Yeah, yeah. So Nirmala, you can think of it in this way, right? Like suppose you have and like suppose you have like 10, 15, 20 groups, and you have a chatbot also, one-on-one chatbot. And there's like a specific journey that you have, or like a conversation or a flow that you have created for let's say like in that, let's say like they have to do two of those interactions in the month. So you can be sending out the broadcast in these groups, and through clicking on the link in the group, they can come to your one-on-one chatbot and they can continue the conversation there. And at the end of it, essentially, like you can, there's like a, basically it's just about messaging. The WhatsApp thing remains the same. They can get deeper engagement in group, sorry, in the one-on-one chatbot, and they can get like, hey, this week, this is the thing you have to do. And once you finish, send us the screen, like the final screenshot back. So those are the things that you can do. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
hope.
helps. One more question I had was, do we get to see the data sent by these users like how we normally do in the one-to-one chatbot?
Yeah, yeah. So again, like yeah, you can see all the data of all the interaction that happens. So like if someone reacts to things, someone sends some messages in the group, someone sends media in the group, someone sends like a response to polls that you have sent in the group. So all of those data is recorded in BigQuery tables, and we have created some template dashboard for you to see, let's say like just over numbers, and also like then you can always see like like group specific what is happening. So the data is stored in your BigQuery, like so along with and there'll be separate tables so that you are always able to distinguish what is happening in groups, what is happening in one-on-one chatbot. So
Understood.
within which group, within given time, what was the interaction, who responded the most, things like that. All those things you can figure out.
Okay, that helps. And is there any comparatives of, running something on a one-to-one chatbot versus
Yeah.
doing a mixture of groups and chatbots? Or from what I understand, these groups will be similar to the collections that we do, the bucketing that we do for sending out messages on the one-to-one, right?
Yeah, similar in a way that, like, yeah, whatever message you send, all of them will get the same message, but it'll be like just one message that goes to the group.
Yeah. So any cost comparatives we have at this point in time?
Yeah, so like I think the cost acquired is like basically to do this. There's a one like a monthly subscription of $30 per month, that you have to like get for the Mate API, like the third layer which I explained, right? So for that, basically it's like a additional subscription of this service called Mate API.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and this
then
is.
what you save on is the messaging costs that you will do to your individual users, which move then to the groups.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have, let's say if you have 100 users and if you're sending them one-on-one messages in through Gupsha, like through the individual chatbot, if you put them in one group
Huh.
instead of that, you can just send them one message. And obviously, like this is not about 100 at the scale of 100, probably beneficial at like 1,000, 5,000 or more. But yeah, like so you don't like you can save the cost of sending them broadcast messages through one-on-one chatbot. You can send them messages through group, and through group you can get them through by clicking on links into your individual chatbots, and yeah, continue engaging.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
And
Thanks.
yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I mean, so this is one of the things that we had, obviously, so earlier there was a thing of broadcast messaging through one-on-one chatbot, because all the like more messages get added as marketing. So there's like almost like 0.9 rupees per message, and as you increase that increases a lot. So you can add them in groups and do this thing. But also, yeah, I mean, yeah. So sorry, I'm confusing. Yeah, but what you kind of like summarized it. Um, cool. So I mean, maybe just one thing, like if anyone wants to start a pilot or like some things that we have figured from doing the activity with KEF last year is it's best to have like one anchor thing that you have decided that you are going to engage your beneficiaries around in a week or in a month. So that is that one anchor activity is something that you can think of, which is like your high value touch point, something that like something predictable that your beneficiaries expect from you. So you can pick that one thing, keep it like less than like one, like, like less than 2 or 3 messages per week, because otherwise it becomes a lot. And map out like how you're going to structure the groups. So either whether it's going to be language specific, whether it's going to be district specific, whether it's going to be topic specific, like, or like a combination of these three things. So if you can have those groups mapped out, like how these groups are going to be, what are the common things that these groups are going to get. Once that is done, and then what we have seen is like obviously like getting those people who are the facilitators slash moderators, those who are closer to those groups, either on ground or in that community, having them, like interesting them with like some sort of things like, hey, you should, for like, like they can get involved and they can moderate those groups more heavily. Like that is one positive thing that usually pays off. And try running like a 4 week, like, I mean, let's say like a one month or 2 month, like a baseline program, to see like what type of engagement and activity you're actually getting to see. And this should kind of like uh, maybe like a good starting point to see, like broadcasting through groups, getting them to chatbot, or then moving them to chatbot from. So how that thing plays along. And then we're also introducing, like I said, like there's a cost of broadcasting which can get saved, but also moving forward there's a cost of each message that gets sent back by sent to the user. Right, like, so eventually WhatsApp is becoming more and more expensive, of like especially one-on-one chatbot messaging. So if you have the groups created, there's also like where if we are going to introduce, like I spoke in the last webinar, like we are trying to introduce a web channel, so that someone doesn't have to come to WhatsApp to finish a conversation. They can probably finish the or have the conversation in their Chrome, in their in a non WhatsApp, like a web channel in surface. So those are some other pilots that can be thought of, and especially like more towards saving the cost. So moving forward, so like that's why if you can think of some ways to like consolidate your groups, or like think of creating groups where you can broadcast, that would be a very good thing to think of, so that you're able to scale with less cost over the next 1 to 2 years. Okay, I'll quickly talk about a few features, and basically this is a journey of how we have developed this automation over the last year and a half. Like the first thing that exists, and that is the most important, is you're able to create groups, manage groups, like put them into a collection of groups, so that you're able to broadcast to these, like let's say 10, 15, 20, 100 groups at the same time. So there's creating new groups, adding new people, removing people from there, creating group collections, which is like a group of groups, and then bulk sending these messages and scheduling ahead, and then running polls. So these are like the most basic things, and then being able to listen into those groups. So like having all this data of interactivity, getting fed back into your BigQuery, so that you're then able to like make sense of how many people are responding, reacting, all those things. So these are the things that exist. Like this is what we started off with, and they still exist. What came next, and what basically, like if you have to send out weekly or like monthly campaigns and like content which is calendar driven, or even like like program driven, so you can have a Google sheet which has all the content. You can use this in flows, and then so that you don't have to create new flows every week or every month. Like you have to update the Google Sheet. That Google Sheet, like that flow runs every at a given time, and then the message is delivered through your Google Sheet. And then with some amount of customization per group. So let's say you have like English speaking groups, Hindi speaking groups, and any other language speaking groups, you are able to just customize it to those group preferences, not to individual preferences, but to group preferences. And all of this is possible. Like there's an example of Arogya World. We ideated a program of sending a 62-week health campaign in 4 different languages. And that would have required us to create like them to create 350 flows, but we were just able to like create like 2 to 3 flows, and we were able to deliver these like this like create this entire program of sending out every week one message in this language about a certain health diabetes that they were working on, and sending it out to these groups in language specific groups. So getting to deliver content at scale through Google Sheets, and lastly, eventually what we realize is when an org reaches the scale of like 300 to 500, 600 groups, what happens is, since MetaP is a workaround, there is no official automation of groups by WhatsApp or Meta. So number is likely to get blocked or suspended for suspicious activity, right? Like because Meta identifies that this particular number is sending hundreds of messages in a very short span of time. That's not humanly possible. So it's not an actual human. And so the number gets blocked or suspended for 24 or 48 hours. And yeah, like so that just hampers the operations like when Meta flags it. And you can always get the number back because it's not you're not doing anything illegal. It's just that it's not official solution of Meta. So what we have done in the latest release is now we can add multiple like numbers. So you can have 2 or 3 numbers if you have like 100, 500,000 groups, such that like there is, if one number get you're using one number as a primary number for messaging, if that number gets suspended or blocked by Meta, there's a fallback, and you can continue messaging through the other number that you have. And yeah, like, and then API, so that you are able to do this all at scale. So our plan this year is to support two of the orgs like Madi and KEF to reach like 1,000, 2,000 groups with like, yeah, 700 to 900 people each. And so yeah, that's the aim, and that's what we are prepared for. So we're happy to help some of the orgs also like to try out smaller pilots and get it started, try to see if it makes sense. It helps to optimize the cost, and cost optimization is the major reason why these orgs are doing it, because to broadcast message at this scale is just going to drain their yeah, like the balance a lot. I'll pause here for a question. If not, I'll quickly go ahead and then we can dive into questions. Okay, so just a quick intro to how you can set it up, and then we can also share you the documentation and the videos, and so that you are able to get a bit more idea. But essentially, to set up, what you need is you should have a separate phone number in a device, and that should be in like and the phone number should be on WhatsApp. So that is the requirement number one. Number two is then you get the MateAPI subscription, and you link this number into the MateAPI console, and you link it with Glific. So these are like very, very simple steps. The major step is just getting a number and having it on WhatsApp, and getting the MateAPI subscription. Getting the MateAPI subscription also easy. It's just about getting that $30 per month ka subscription thing. Rest of it is very easy. Then you can create your groups. The number should be part of the group. You can build the flow, set the trigger, and then yeah, essentially like get the data starts coming in. So the most important step is to like have a different number than your chatbot. It should be on a device, and this number should be part of the groups already. Or you can also create the groups later, but it's always beneficial to have like numbers groups created and the number should be part of it. We have a template dashboard to help you make sense of all the data once. And Yeah, like all of this data lands in your BigQuery, so you can do any other sort of customization that you need to do over it. But yeah, like so I'll not go deep into that because we don't have time for that. But basically, you can understand like is it reaching like how many groups are there, how many distinct contacts are there, what is the messaging volume, how many replies, how many reactions, how many poll votes, things like that. And like also like because we're getting so much data it's like streaming in, so we are able to identify which groups are acquired, which groups, and what is the best time of day, best day of the week, best time of the day to send messages based on the activity that is happening. Yeah, and then you can always do like a lot more customization because you have all the data in your BigQuery. But yeah, all you need to get started is you need the MateAPI number and you need to have some program thought of and the subscription. And we'll be happy to help you. I think we can. A lot of you are working with Glyfic, so if like either you can reach out on Discord or you can reach out to your POCs or you can reach out to info@Glyfic. And we haven't enabled this feature for everyone. It's not, there's no extra fees to Glyphic to enable this. It's just that it becomes confusing if you see something new and you don't see anything on that. So if you want to try it out, please reach out to us and we can help you to get started. Like we can help you do with the guiding steps and like the initial onboarding documentation. It's not going to cost you anything extra on Glyphic. It's just directly to MateAPI that you have to get the subscription and get started. So, but yeah, this is something that we haven't enabled for all, just to like not make it confusing. If you would like to try it out, please reach out and we can enable this feature for you so you're able to like then take the next steps also. But yeah, that was the thing on groups. Like I said, like I said, like right now, one of the things is WhatsApp is going to increase the cost. So groups is like obviously like getting from groups to your WhatsApp chatbot, one-on-one chatbot will be one of the paths. But also in very soon, I had also like mentioned that Glyphic, we are trying to develop another channel where any link or any flow that you have created that is sent on WhatsApp, it should also be possible to send it as a separate, just like a clickable link, and it opens a chat interface in someone's Google Chrome or it in someone's browser, and so that like the session can be free or like nearly free or not as expensive as WhatsApp. The cost of it is not something that we have an idea of right now, but so the web channel is also something that we are developing, and we'll share more about that in the next couple of like let's say like next 1 month. But yeah, like something to consider and something to think about to make like the cost of reaching scale and using WhatsApp, like like just a way to figure out like how to reduce that so that you are able to reach scale. But yeah, happy to take more questions. We have about 5 minutes. Um, yeah, I can pause for 10 minutes. If not, maybe Tanu, we can start the poll and
Yeah, you can push the poll. Sorry, I just checked this. Oh, sorry. Lakshmi has a question, Tejas,
okay.
on using another API instead of MateAPI.
Yeah.
You check that. I'll in the meantime push the poll. Yes.
Okay, Lakshmi has a question. Like similar to MeetAPI, we have Evolution API open source. We can run in Docker. Not sure of that. Yeah, Lakshmi, like right now we are coupled with MeetAPI because like most of the orgs cannot develop their own APIs and things like that. So this is an out of the box solution that we have. So yeah, like I think that's probably not possible to integrate with right now in Glyphic. But if you have the API, I'm sure you're able to do all of the messaging already. So getting them from group to your WhatsApp chatbot or broadcasting should be fairly easy for you, right? I mean, I'm happy to connect with you later and understand how this thing works, and also check out the API that you're talking about. So yeah, we can see if that cost is easier or better. We can see if it's possible for us to merge that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Evolution API. I think I'll check it out. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mm.
There is one more hand up, Arushi.
Yeah, Rishi is raised.
Yes. So, for the pilot that you had mentioned, right, which
Hmm.
you're saying that you've probably done it for a few of the folks on Glific. For that also, we need subscription of MetaPay.
Yes, yeah. So the mate app is so sorry. No, what I mentioned was we can enable the feature, and the feature should be available for you. But basically, when we enable the feature, you will not be like there's no phone number linked to it, right? So you can just see another tab called WhatsApp Groups,
Hmm.
but there'll be no groups or like there'll be nothing over there.
Okay. So, in order to eventually use it to its full potential, we'll have to get the subscription, even if
Yeah.
it's a pilot, right?
Yeah. So you can pilot it. Basically, MateApp offers like a 3-day free trial thing.
Acha.
So
Okay.
you can use that. Like you can always like run a 3-day thing, and you can always I mean in a way like you can always so MateApp you can log in using your email ID.
Hmm.
So you can log in using like maybe after 3 days you can log in using another email ID or another email ID after 3 days after that. So you
Hmm.
can maximize that free trial also, like let's say for like like for till the time your team members have different email IDs that they can log in, as long as you connect the same phone, and the phone is already part of the group. So if you want to try out like some messaging things like scheduling messages and things like that, you can try it out for like 3 days or like let's say like 7 days or like like 12 days. And then yeah, basically it basically gives you enough idea about what you need to do.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's a good like workaround. I
Yeah.
think we can try that. Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as a starter, maybe I can enable it for I can enable it for Hug Darshak so that you
Mm.
can see the feature once. I mean, yeah, and then we can send you the documentation and the videos that are there so that you are able to.
Yes, that would just really help me explain it to my CPO because it has to go through her for us to be able to implement it on a larger scale. And
Yes.
we were thinking of some post enrollment, post scheme enrollment interactions and engagement strategies. One was definitely like WhatsApp notifications and all of that. But I think this looks like more easier. If like one of the ways that I can think of is maybe the agents, right? The Hug Darshaks whom we have, maybe we can ask them to add the customers after they have already received a service from us into a certain group, like they share the joining link or something कि आपको आगे कोई भी जरूरत होगा तो maybe you can you'll get notified here, and that
Yeah.
probably that can be one of the ways. Okay, similar thing can be done for the remote fulfillment as well. Like I'm just speaking from like my use case POV,
Yeah.
because directly customer to nahi aayega koi, that's not
Yeah.
possible. There has
Yeah.
to be some linkage in the middle. For example, in the examples you gave, they were teachers
Correct.
who were
Correct.
in a way probably adding students into a cohort, right? So
Yeah.
there has to be like some middle middle entity who
Yeah.
just help the customer get on it. Anyway, ठीक है, I'll
Yeah.
speak to my CPO and you please do share the video and other things with me. I'll
Yes.
I'll definitely have a word with her and go ahead with this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Ram?
Yeah, hi Tejas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like maybe I think I missed this point. Like these groups, maybe will this form from the collection from the Glyphic or like how this group works? I mean, like how contacts will be added in that.
So there are two. I mean, yeah, like it's not the same as the collections. Like not exactly the same.
Okay.
Groups are like your normal WhatsApp groups we have, right? So it's
Yeah.
those groups, like so that is the group, and we can there's a way to form it through Glyphic. Like you can upload a CSV, and once we enable this feature for you, like in that feature, there's like a way to create these groups. So you can have like your org number which is linked to MetaP, and then you can have a list of other phone numbers that you want to add to a similar group. So you can do that. or you can already have the groups created. So like if you have a phone number and the group's already created in that, if you get the Meetup subscription, link it to Glyphic, then all the groups start showing up on the Glyphic tab.
I mean, can we extract from the collection or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean you can always like do an export of a collection and create another group
Yeah.
in with that other phone number.
Yeah. From
So that's
CSV, right?
yeah, it's just like a CSV upload. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yes.
but again, like I'll just flag it like it's not maybe as straightforward because like group, like like all of us, because it's like adding to a group and my personal number, right? Like you're adding people's
Mm.
personal number to the groups. So a lot of times people, like if you go to your WhatsApp and check the privacy setting, you will
Yeah.
see some things like who can add me to a group.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
only my
Unknown
contacts can
people.
add me,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like can
Contacts.
everyone add me. So
Yeah.
there are some restrictions like that. So yeah, like that's so those are just some restrictions to be aware of. Like just because they are on your WhatsApp and you have the export and you added them to a group, doesn't mean they will get added to the group. There are like some
Okay.
privacy restrictions that are
Okay.
present at
So,
the user level.
like, is there any consent message for this? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
most likely what happens is in that case they will get a link to your group
hmm,
invite.
hmm.
So
Okay.
if they choose to do the link and get the group, in that case you can get them in that way.
Thank you, Tejas.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there are some like that is something that will have to be that you have to think about. But either you can, if they're already in the collection, you can broadcast them the group link and then add them later as a backup, or like add them first and then broadcast a group link. And because by default also they get the group link. So like a bunch of these things may have to be done to like get 100% of the people on the group.
Yeah. Got it, Tejas. Thank you so much. It was a great session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I think we are at an end. Yeah, I think some folks are still filling the feedback form. So yeah, feel free to fill the feedback form. If you have filled it, you can drop off. And if you have any more questions, we are here for a few more minutes. So yeah, feel free to share your questions.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Teachers, could you just repeat what you said about um, on addition of numbers to the groups, like about the privacy